Is spirituality back? Well, I wouldn't really say it's back, no, but only because it can't really ever truly go away. Come on, you're really not meant to answer the question at the start of the video. What's going to entice us to watch now? But the popular thinking of it as a powerful source of intelligence, you can feel that getting stronger. There's a huge conversation at the moment and it's growing. And I think spirituality as we know it has changed and is changing. Over the past 20 years in Europe and the US, the people identifying as following a religion has taken a plunge, which has coincided with people identifying as atheists rising. No, none of this suggests spirituality is growing, but just stay with me for a minute. There has been this growing space for something else, and a door has been opened. I've used quite a balance of people that I think are spreading this kind of awareness in the thumbnail to this video. But I'll look at 3 of them now to really quickly see where their influences have come from. There's Russel, who's openly spoken about his influence from the 12-step approach used by AA groups and rehabilitation. Russel was developed through deep learning from his experiences and healing through meditation. And it's noticeable how he's moved away from the ego in his life. Now he uses his platform to teach, spread helpful messages of new ways of thinking, and tries to increase the belief and well-being in people, while still being the funniest person in the room. I mean, who doesn't love Russel Brand? Anyone? No? Cool. He follows a certain format to meditation, but doesn't mention following a certain religion, if not mentioning God on the odd occasion. Can you hear that thunder? Woo. It's raining as well. But even then, the term God is more of a reference to a universal nature. We have Aaron, who's been inspired to teach letting go methods written by the late and great David Hawkins, using Hawkins' approach to explain humans on their vibrational level and how they can go about raising that. Aaron talks a lot. Like, how could someone have that many words in their brain? But his work is good. We have Eckhart, who once this close to suicide and on his last legs became suddenly and deeply present and at peace. He travelled the world learning from spiritual teachers to try and figure out what had happened to him, drawing on all he had learned and experienced to write groundbreaking books like The Power of Now. It is worth just getting a copy, leave it by your bed, read a little bit most days and see what happens. If nothing, blame him, not me. He learnt from many other religions and uses their references in his teachings, but there is no clear affiliation to a certain religion in his work, and he openly doesn't believe that there should be. Although all 3 of these people do differ, they do have common values, like the quitting of the ego, and they could all be followed simultaneously, learning from each of them. And they're all men. You could have done about Oprah or Gabby Bernstein. We could say that for many there is this brewing move away from nothing to this new spirituality. Okay, so what is spirituality? Is it a religion, a form of faith? Well, it's pretty much both those things, but I've got a feeling you're going to add to that. To me, it's a development of someone's understanding and deepening between body, mind and environment. Realising that our existence goes beyond only this body, to help us understand that we're not a prisoner in it, but an essence that is able to use a body to experience. It's to say, yes, I don't understand everything that's going on in my mind and the things around me, but instead of just leaving it at that, I would like to allow that non-understanding to exist and hope that I can use it to learn a more fulfilling way of living. And with this spirituality, if you're ever feeling a little lost, there's this vibrant living entity that you can tap into anywhere in the world and that's never going to leave. Something as simple as the undisputed existence of burning life that is pulsating through your body suddenly becomes amazingly meaningful. It's an exercise of being less in here and more in here. By that, I think he means your environment and not just this wood. Okay, so you just either went on a massive tangent or all of that made loads of sense. So where did this revival spark? From things like Jon Kabat-Zinn bringing mindfulness over to the West, to various monks noticing an opportunity to awaken and help large parts of Europe and the US. In their teachings, it's becoming rarer that they mention a strict way of life and are keen to spread techniques to increase well-being rather than preachings. And I think this openness from teachers to focus on improving people's lives rather than having people prove to them how much they believe in something is one of the defining features that is spreading the current authenticity of spirituality. People believe in so many made-up things. Many of people's only experiences are of man-made concepts that only exist in a collective of people's minds. Money is a story. Money? Our law systems are a perfect example of a collective agreement. No one can see a law, feel it or taste it, but we feel protected to know that enough people agree that it exists. Most of the modern things in society only work because millions of people buy into it. I guess that's why the mini disc flopped so much. Oh my god, flopped! Flopped! Doesn't make any sense. With money it became important because we were suddenly able to convert a wooden shoe that we'd made, not just into something like wool or something that the restricted amount of tradesmen were bringing into your village at a certain time, but into this relatively non-valuable token, material-wise, that you could use to buy pretty much anything and allowed most people to be able to trade pretty much anywhere. But that was only possible when there were enough people who believed in this thing called money. Because without belief, money has no value. For instance, a more modern example is how much physical money is there that's really in the world. If you were to go to your bank and ask to see all of your actual money, they wouldn't be able to show it to you because they don't have it. Please don't panic, alright? Whatever you do, just don't panic. Okay? Save yourselves! And I'm not saying that money becoming a digital entity is a bad thing, but it just shows the extent of our imagination. The money doesn't really exist, but we believe in it. And it's that belief, and that belief only, that allows the money to be moved and used. If the lights suddenly went out, what would happen to all that money then? I think the increase in spiritual interest is owed slightly to our desire to be involved in something that, although we can't necessarily see, feels far more real to us than adding to a capitalist story or company that only exists online and has no walls. We're experts at imagination, so why limit ourselves to such a restricted and grey type of imagination? And it's this experience-based openness to the truth which I think is supercharging the credibility of spiritualism once more. So is spirituality back? I hope so. Thanks so much for watching, and please do subscribe if you're new, click the thumbs up and write a little comment down below and I'll get chatting with you. Take care, bye bye.